You know, this view never gets old. Just so pretty out here. I'm at my normal stomping grounds reviewing a pretty fun shoe, the North Face VECTIV Enduris 4. This is probably the most boring colorway out there, but they do have, luckily, some better colorways on the website that are much more brighter, much more lively. So definitely check that out. I do want to thank the North Face for sending me this pair of shoes for the purpose of review, but know that all thoughts and opinions are strictly my own. I also want to give a quick shout out to Scratch Labs for sending me some hydration product. I'm drinking their, what was it, orange guava passion fruit or something like that. Super tasty. I actually bought that flavor with my own money, but they did send me some other flavors which are also delicious. So thank you, Scratch, for sending some product my way. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you're already a subscriber, consider joining the channel membership, only $1 a month, and it just goes to support the channel and all of the efforts that I go through to inspire and inform you. I'm also trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I'll produce the videos. All you got to do is subscribe. With all of that out of the way, there's a lot of things that I've really liked and enjoyed about the Enduris 4, and a couple things that maybe could use some improvement. So we're going to talk about those things, specifically the overall build and build quality and the comfort, the performance, and the value of the Enduris 4. But with all that out of the way, moving on with the review, voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about some of the specs and features of the Enduris 4 while I continue on descending down the trail into the valley and then up along the hillside over there. It's just beautiful out here. Alrighty, voiceover Chad, over to you.
The North Face states, designed for both everyday training and achieving your personal best on race day, the VECTIV Enduris 4 are part of our flagship trail shoes that deliver high performance and long distance comfort when you're training or racing. As for some of those specs and features, you get an engineered dual wrap mesh upper, a gusseted tongue, 3D TPU plate for both propulsion and lateral support, Dream nitrogen TPU midsole, surface control outsole rubber with 4mm lugs, 32mm of heel stack, 24mm of toe stack for that 8mm drop, weighing in at 287 grams or 10.12 ounces, and a US MSRP of $160. Chad, back over to you on the trails.
Spooked him. There's the sun. All right, so all the B-roll footage that you're gonna see in this video today was recorded after this run. So after about 40 miles or so, you know, I've been doing shoe reviews for a little while now. I always feel like I struggle to say the feelings and the experiences that I've had in these shoes. I can, of course, regurgitate stats and quantitative measures, but those qualitative measures, the things that illustrate my experience, even things like, do I think about the shoe after my run when I'm not running in this shoe? Those are the things that I'm trying to express in all of my videos, so bear with me. Moving on with the review, talking about the overall build quality and the comfort. I've really been impressed with the North Face as of late. I think their shoes are really top quality when it comes to the build, the choice of materials, how it all comes together. They really do a thought out job, both in the design and the implementation of the build of their shoes. This is one of their flagship daily trainer type shoes, which you can also use for some types of racing. Starting with that upper, the tongue is gusseted, and the gusset, or the material that holds that tongue, is also lined on the inside of the entire shoe, which adds to the comfort, although it does take away from breathability. I do feel that that engineered mesh upper is very durable. I've not had any problems. I've scraped it against the occasional rock and it's holding up just great. It's also very adaptable to your foot, so it moves with your foot strike and adapts to your foot movements, again helping to keep things comfortable and attesting to the overall build. The laces are textured, which helps them stay tied. There's some good padding in the heel and a little bit of stiffness in the heel as well, just really helping to lock in and hold your heel and ankle in place comfortably. I have not had any sort of redness or hot spots or blisters or uncomfortable points in the shoe at all. There are two areas where I think the shoe could be improved. One, I mentioned it already, breathability. You get a dual layer upper, so that liner on the inside and of course the outer portion of the upper. I also feel that the overall shape of the toe, and I'll show you, it's maybe a little narrow here in the toes, right up through here. Just kind of tapers up to a point, and I wish it was a little more of an anatomical type of fit. I think that would make it just a little bit more comfortable, especially for those ultras. It's not to say that the toe box is uncomfortable. There's still enough room in there. Otherwise, around the midfoot and the heel and across the top of your foot, just a good, comfortable, secure hold. No complaints there at all. Moving down into the midsole, you get that VECTIV 3D TPU plate, which adds some stability to the shoe, but also helps maintain a little bit of that rocker shape. So it just helps to propel you forward a little bit more, which is noticed. I'll talk about that more in performance here in a moment. And then that Dream midsole, it's a supercritical nitrogen infused TPU midsole, is fabulous. It absorbs impacts quite well, so it offers a little bit of cushioning. It's not the softest midsole, but it's also very bouncy and responsive. Feels great on the downhill, just absorbs those impacts. Feels good when you're really trying to put in some power and energy into your foot strike and your stride. It just gives back, and it's a very nice sensation. I really like the midsole, and of course in the Enduris 4 you get a little bit more kind of that medium to high stack amount. There's definitely lots underfoot, helping to keep things comfortable on the long run. And then moving down to that outsole rubber, very good build. I really like actually the North Face rubber that they use. It does a great job, grips into the dirt, grips onto the rocks, very confidence inspiring, and it seems to last a long time. I've not seen any premature signs of wear in this shoe. Really been pleased. The build quality is top notch in this shoe. Hopefully my thoughts make sense. If you have a question, definitely drop it down in the comments. I'll be sure to answer. But let's move on with this run and talk about the performance of the Enduris 4. So I like the overall build. I'm really impressed there. And the shoe is comfortable, but how does it perform? Now this gets into those non-quantitative, those qualitative measures that I was talking about earlier. This is a shoe that I've looked forward to running in again and again. It's a shoe that I feel encourages me to continue running, to put in the work, and just to keep going. It's a shoe that doesn't distract me from the task at hand, and it's a shoe that I feel I could successfully run many long miles in, you know, those ultra distances. A lot of it probably comes down to that 3D TPU plate and the rocker shape of the shoe, and also the Dream midsole. I love the underfoot feel of this shoe and this midsole. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Sorry, just talking to the YouTube.
All right.
As mentioned, the midsole just does a great job at absorbing impact, but also being very rewarding. It's kind of bouncy and springy underfoot. It just keeps things really lively. It's a lot of fun. Starting to move in behind the shadow of the ridgeline here, where the sun is behind the ridgeline. Whew, and it's a lot cooler in here as well. Feels good. Just a couple more things about performance. The upper performance is also very nice. I alluded to it, but does a great job at holding my foot in place. My foot's not moving around side to side or back and forth inside the shoe, and the shoe length is spot on. And then moving all the way down to the outsole rubber, those 4mm lugs, just grip it into the dirt, and anything else that you put it through at outsole rubber really just meets any requirements and demands of a trail. So from a performance perspective, if you're using this shoe for those daily miles and even those ultra races, I think you'll be very satisfied. Oh, good golly, I need to catch my breath going up this hill. I'm getting too excited about the shoe. And there's a deer right there. It's gonna cross the trail here in a moment. There he is. The one area for improvement when it comes to performance, I wish the shoe was just a little bit lighter. It's not a heavy shoe, but there is some bulkiness. I'll show you in the shoe. It kind of flares out on each side, which does add some stability, but it also adds a little bit of bulkiness and weight to the shoe. Not a deal breaker, and I'm still very satisfied with the performance of the shoe, and I think you'll be very happy with it too. Let's get to the top of this ridge and then we'll talk about the value. Top of the ridge here. I thought of one more thing on performance that I wanted to mention, and maybe this actually does get into the next topic. The North Face Enduris 4 is a shoe that I would be completely content with if it were my only everyday shoe, trail shoe that is. I would still probably opt to get something for the shorter trail races and, you know, speedier workouts, something that's more nimble and lighter weight, like the Sky 2. But again, for those everyday workouts, everyday training, the easy miles, the long miles, and those ultra races, I would be completely happy and content using the Enduris 4. $160 US MSRP. I feel that is a pretty good buy. Keeps your foot comfortable, offers some fun, dynamic, but cushioned underfoot feel from that midsole, something that's gonna feel stable on the trails. Now, to compare a few other shoes, a few that I thought of was the Nike Wild Horse 10. It was $155 or $160. This shoe overall is better than that. Nike Wild Horse 10 is not a bad shoe, but this is definitely the better shoe and one that I would prefer to have. I've also really been enjoying the Topo Athletic Mountain Racer 4. The 3 is what I used in a 100-mile race. I've been enjoying the 4. They made some nice improvements and a couple drawbacks. Full review video coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed. But I feel that the Enduris 4 has the better midsole. I also thought about maybe the VJ Max X2, which comes in, if I remember right, about $170, so just a little bit more, but I feel like the upper has a better overall material and build in the Enduris 4. But for $160, I think you're getting a very good buy. And yes, I do recommend the Enduris 4. I think it's a very good shoe for that price point, and one that you would also enjoy. It's that shoe that really does encourage me to keep going, and I look forward to running in it on that next trail run. Ooh, that sun is bright. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Are you considering the Enduris 4? Why are you particularly interested in this shoe? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, is there a different shoe that you're considering? Ooh, look at that little guy. I think it's a little king snake, actually. Yeah. He's a little tiny guy, getting a little aggressive right now. It's funny how much they mimic a rattlesnake. Even his tail's shaking like a rattlesnake. But yeah, he's all of maybe a foot long. All right, let's go around him. Alrighty. Oh. Even though he's just a little guy and non-poisonous, still kind of, I don't know, kind of creepy. All right, so the North Face VECTIV Enduris 4. Overall, really good build quality that I think exceeds its price point. a shoe that's comfortable even for those ultra distances, one that performs really well. I love that underfoot midsole feel. It just, I don't know, there's something enjoyable and lively about it. It's an inspiring midsole. It's not a shoe that I would take on those shorter, faster trail races, but that's not the intent of the shoe. And for $160, it's definitely one that I would recommend as well. So there you have it. Hopefully I didn't forget anything on this review today. Stay tuned for much more. I've got a lot of reviews coming your way, including the Craft Pure Trail Pro, the Innovate Trailfly Max, oh, and the Solomon S-Lab Pulsar 4, a shoe that I'm really looking forward to running in. Oh, and the Topo Mountain Racer 4, and probably a few others that I haven't mentioned as well. So make sure you are subscribed. Okay, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for joining me on this run. Number 2, be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile as I have in the North Face VECTIV Enduris 4. I'll see you on the next video. Bye now. Whew. 11 miles, 1,800 feet of gain. That is a great way to start the day, a weekday nonetheless.